ones that he's gonna, they're just saying as we're building them, we may have to move a fence to a corner to a building, or because there's a bush in the way, those kind of things are also might be obstacles as well, as he's building it. And so those are adjustments we'll be making as we get going.
Close that. Just did one.
Okay.
Because now it says.
Well, thank you very much.
Co-curriculars.
Okay.
I want to thank you for the tour. That was a lot of fun going to all the schools. And I also want to bring your work with our green. I mean, if you haven't gone on a little tour, even if it's just driving by, our schools have been cleaned up very well with all the extra greenery that was around, that was overgrown, and took a little bit out of the curb appeal of our schools. So since you told me that that was going to get done this summer, I made it a point to drive by, and it's great. It looks really, really nice.
Thank you.
I was particularly happy seeing all that stuff that I didn't do gone. Definitely, and I think a lot of the teachers there are too, to see that gone. So thank you for all that work. It looks great.
All right, thank you.
So there's no action, no required. Okay. Let's see, do we have any public comments? This one? Thank you, Alex. All right, so let's go ahead now and move to item 4.3.
Sorry, guys, that's me. Sorry.
Thanks.
So item
Thank you.
4.3.
It is a lag.
Yeah, it's a lag.
This is just for information, but I'll probably start to speak to the board. Just wanted to, as we move with the process of hiring our director of personnel and state and federal programs, as part of our discussions, we said that we were going to put a process in place. And so one of the part of the process is having a creative panel interview and having a board member who is an observer as part of with the panel interview. And so I wanted to basically start reminding the board that we are looking to have a board appoint for the board to appoint one member to be part of an observer during the interview process. And the recommendation is that the board president be the one that provides that name to the superintendent so that we can finalize our panel committee with that. So just to see if there's any questions, we are following the timeline that we share with the board. The position has been posted. The position will close on Friday. Then after that, we will be looking at doing paper screening, the survey to get community feedback right now this afternoon. And that data will be gathered, summarized, and shared with the panel committee as far as what is, what people are looking for, to have that information as they talk about the identifying the candidate that goes through that interview process. So just information for the board. We don't need to take an action. And if when can the board president has that made.
The request has been made and I have not heard from every member yet. Once I do, then I will get back to you.
Perfect. And if there's any questions from the board, I'm glad to take any questions. Perfect.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. MacArthur. Do we have any public comment on that one?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now we are done with item 4.3. So let's move on to item 4.4, presentation of MPEA report. I assume that there's a statement that was sent our way.
MPA did send a statement. Cindy Felico, MPA president, stated that MPEA would like to welcome everyone to the new school year. MPEA hopes that we can work collaboratively with management to create a safe and welcoming learning environment for students and staff.
Thank you. Right, that is item 4.4. That takes us to item 5, which is suggestions and comments from the audience, which I have already explained how it works. Do we have anyone wanting to comment on any items that are
We have
not on the agenda?
one in person and then one listening online.
Okay, do you have a preference on which way?
But we just did the one in person, then we'll go to the one online.
That is Maribel Paredes. I was wondering if that's sanitary.
We can.
We can hear you, so you're good.
Okay. good. So, good afternoon, board president, trustees, and superintendent. Dr. Mike Parker. I wanted to make the board aware of what happened to my son this summer. He was in the Elevate Math, struggling when he was supposed to be in extended learning for his IEP. I had no idea that there was an in-person extended learning. I told Mr. Hada, the principal, during the summertime, made me aware of this. This is not acceptable. That makes me wonder how many students did this happen to. This is not the responsibility, this is the responsibility of the director of special ed to make parents aware of this. This is not the first time something has happened to where I have to come and address it to the board. This cannot happen again to any student in the school district. I would like and then I wanted to also respectfully ask the board to direct staff to let parents and the community in the month of September know what the ADU is for the school district. And back to what I was saying, now that's a little bit different for a person. It's concerning to me as a parent. I have to come to you all the time and ask, or when I have a complaint. I feel like I'm not being respected as a parent. You're my son, who had the struggle as a child. We're in a pandemic. It was a learning loss for him, not just for him, but other students. And things like this aren't acceptable because here he is struggling. He's feeling down, like can't do the job with his peers. And so it's kind of like, we're a small school district. There's not that many students. And this should not be happening to anybody. I don't know if you guys take this being serious, but it is serious. Because I wouldn't have came here after work to come and speak to in front of you. This is hard, come and speak. Sometimes you feel like, what are you gonna tell them? Are they gonna listen to you? So I hope that you address it and you tell the superintendent. But I mean, because I know we can't go to the administrator and the staff person, but still concerning. So that's all I have to say.
I just need a point of clarification. Was your son put in the wrong level of math?
Well, the Elevate Math was offered to all students who are struggling with math. My son that's all that was offered to me. I don't want to keep my son at home or tired because it's hard for him to learn. That's why I brought him back to school when we reopened softball team in March. So my son's struggling there, feeling like he's dumb, if he's not with his peers, because these students are way more advanced than he is. Until Mr. Hala, a principal that I'm talking about, started looking into it, started to do her homework. And look, like he had it, and I knew he had it, but I had no idea that they had it in person, because I don't know what's happening in the district here. If you don't inform parents, how are they supposed to know? He's an 8-year-old child. The ADA is not that high, I'm sure, that's why I'm asking for it. Because I would hate to see, and I hope I answered your question, I would hate to see a school closed. This is my community, this is where I went to school. This is where my son's going to school. And it's impactful if you can't do your job. Then I wanted to pull my son. I was so upset. It upset me so much. I was like, I'd rather go to the district that knows what they're doing versus one that's always constant, something went on with my son, with his IEP. And what is the solution? Is to, because I don't want it, he's gonna go back to school in person. The solution was, because I asked Ms. Brecken, what is the solution? She said, when he's in class, she's gonna pull him there, because I don't want him to miss any general education time or his extra support. For those Spanish-speaking parents, I feel for them, and they can't come and advocate for their kids, but they don't know how. Or the parents that don't know how to get advocate for their kids. But guess what? I do, and I'm gonna advocate for my son. So I hope I answered your question, Martinez. This is concerning, and it's sad, but this is what it has to amount to. I hope, as a board, that you guys really listen to these kind of things, because there's a lot of kids that have a learning loss, and Mr. Trustee Grassley, he's a teacher, was a principal. He knows about education. I'm not saying that you guys don't know, but he knows how this has impacted children as an educator. So, and he's not the only one.
So did you get it?
It got resolved 2 weeks in.
Then, Martinez, we probably don't want to go further on her stuff, yeah, sorry. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have just one more.
Me too. I think you can hear me. Rebecca Gallegos, Ida Ju parent, is asking if there's going to be a full-time qualified nurse on campus 5 days a week at Ida Ju.
So I think that is our last public comment. We can go ahead and move to item 6. Specifically personnel, 6.1. Do we have any public comment on this item?
We do not.
Thank you, Alex. Do I have a motion to approve personnel items 6.1 to 6.4? Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Did you catch that? All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? So the motion carries. All right, thank you. That goes to item 7, action items. And I know that these are resolutions, so we're going to be requiring a joint vote. So let's go ahead and do that.
Just as a reminder, oh, that's a consent.
Yes, that's the next one, right? Thank you. Yes. All right, so item 7.1, resolution 21-22-02. Dr. MacArthur, could you just give us a brief synopsis of this one, please?
Do that. Let me just open it for you.
Or maybe Tracy wants to.
Yeah,
give us a
Tracy
heads
will
up.
be the most appropriate person.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the 7.1 is the budget transfer for fiscal year 21-22. During the period when I bring in the report to the board member, we have to clean up our book, move in, make all the correction on journal. So this is the board approve us to do all those journal transactions in revenue. And the second one will be expenditure.
Thank you. Any questions, board members? Any questions, Tracy? Do we have any public comments on this one? Thank you. All right. So that leads us to a vote. And do I have a motion to approve resolution 21-2202?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Mr. Grassi, do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Martinez. And I think we need a roll call.
Yes. Mr. Serrano,
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez,
Aye.
Mr. Grassi,
Aye.
Mrs. Martinez.
Yes.
Mrs. Scott Lopez.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. That takes us to item 7.2, resolution 21-22-03, budget transfers expenditures. And I think Tracy's up again. Just a quick overview of the nature of it.
This was that the first one approved for the journal move is for revenue. The second one, the journal move between expenditure.
Board members, any questions? Do we have any public comment on this item? Thank you, Alice. All right, so may I have a motion to approve resolution 21-22-03? Thank you. That would be Mr. Ramirez, and do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Grassi? And I believe now we need another roll call.
Yes, Ms. Serrano,
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez,
Aye.
Mr. Grassley,
Aye.
Mrs. Martinez.
Yes.
Mrs. Scott Lopez.
That is unanimous and the motion carries. Item 7.3, resolution 21-22-04, authorized signatures. Dr. MacArthur, did you just want to?
This is just on a yearly basis. We ask the board to approve the individuals in the district who will be signing, especially checks. That's the main one.
All right. Does anybody have questions, board members? No? And do we have any public comment on this?
Thank you.
So may I have a motion to approve resolution 21-22-04?
Move to approve.
Thank you. That would be Ms. Martinez. May I have a second? Thank you. Mr. Ramirez. And another roll call, please.
Ms. Serrano,
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez,
Aye.
Mr. Grassley,
Aye.
Mrs. Martinez.
Yes.
Mrs. Scott Lopez.
Yes. All right, motion carries. Item 7.4, resolution 21-22-05, Ms. Board meeting. Did you want a general comment on this? I never know how to explain these.
So we have some board members that did not attend a specific board meeting. And this is a resolution to basically give them credit for that day.
Thank you. Do I have any questions on this item, and do I have any public comments? Okay. So may I have a motion to approve resolution 21-22-05?
Move.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Grassi. And may I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Serrano,
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez,
Aye.
Mr. Grassley,
Aye.
Mrs. Martinez,
Yes.
Mrs. Scott Lopez.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's correct. Thank you. We have one abstention.
One abstention.
And
Thank you.
Ms. Scott Lopez, I believe I heard that, yes.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. All right, so we have 4 in favor, 1 abstention. The motion carries. That would be leading us to item 7.5, in which I need to abstain.
Yes.
And that is resolution 21-22-06, Ms. Board meeting for myself.
Mrs. Serrano abstaining. Mr. Ramirez.
I think we need to make a motion first.
Yes.
Can I have a motion, please? Yes, Mike. Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments or questions, board members, or any comments from the public on that? Thank you. So now.
Mrs. Serrano abstaining. Mr. Ramirez.
We're voting.
I'm staying.
No,
Not you.
we still
Oh,
want to
you're-
say,
oh,
yeah.
you're still under. Aye.
Mr. Grassley,
Aye.
Mrs. Martinez.
Yes.
Mrs. Scott Lopez.
Yes.
So that's 4 yeses and 1 abstention, the motion carries. That leads us to resolutions, or item 7.6, resolution 21-22-07, Ms. Board meeting for Mr. Ramirez. I think it's pretty clear what we're doing with these items. Any public comment? Thank you. Let's see, may I have I will make a motion to approve resolution 21-22-07. May I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Martinez, second. And another,
Mrs. Serrano.
yes.
Mr. Ramirez abstaining. Mr. Grassley.
Aye.
Mrs. Martinez.
Yes.
Ms. Scott Lopez.
Yes.
That is 4 yes votes and 1 abstention, so the motion carries. That takes us to item 7.7, resolution 21-22-08 to close fund 513.
We'll have Ms. give a brief explanation.
So, last year when we start to process our vendor bill, we have to open two accounts that we brought to board for approval. One of the fund for Fund 213 and the other one for Fund 513. So the 213 is the account between the county and the district. When money gets to the county, they transfer into the Fund 213 to the district. And the Fund 513 is between the controller, the state controller, and the county. So now the money already moved from the bank to the controller into our account already. We have the money 5.6 million posted in our 213. So the Fund 513 doesn't need any more. They want us to have a resolution.
Thank you very much. Board members, if you have any questions on this one? And do I have any public comments on this item?
No.
Thank you. So may I have a motion to approve resolution 21-22-08? Thank you, Ms. Martinez. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Grassi. And our last roll call, I think.
Mr. Ryan,
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez,
Aye.
Mr. Brown,
Aye.
Mrs. Martinez, Mrs. Scott Lopez.
Yes. All right, so that is a unanimous vote and the motion carries. Now that takes us to item 8, which is our consent action items. Does anyone need to move anything from the consent agenda?
We did.
Oh, that's me. That's because I don't have it in mind. Sorry about that. I printed it and I don't have
This is
that.
the consolidated application.
Thank you. Thank you. So 7.8, 2021 to 22 consolidated application. Did you want to just say a brief
Yes.
word?
Just briefly, this is the consolidated application for state and federal grants, Title I, Title II, Title III. The presentation from our DLAP group was done in May, and this was a delay because the release of the form from the state was given to us late.
Thank you. Board members, does anybody have any questions? Any public comment on this item?
We do.
Okay. So may I have a motion to approve item 7.8? Yes, Ms. Martinez moves. Have a second? Thank you. Mr. Ramirez seconds. And we do not need a roll call for this one, correct?
Correct.
So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. So the motion carries. All right, sorry about that. Now we move on to item 8, consent action items. Do any board members or the superintendent need to move any items out of this?
Yes, we made the request to move item 9.17.
So we can make item 9.17 into item 8.13, right?
That's correct.
That's correct, okay. Anybody need to move any items from here out for discussion? Seeing none and hearing none, it looks like we don't. So I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda items 8.1 to 8.13. We have a second.
Wouldn't it be 8.12?
13, we
8.12
added.
is here already.
And are you discussing 8.13 though, or not?
Yes, I would like, I'm sorry.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you, okay. So we can take it out of,
Out of consent.
we moved it from information to consent and now back out for approval. So the motion is to approve items 8.1 to 8.12. May I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Rusty, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Doesn't look like it, so the motion carries, and now we need,
Yes.
what would be item 8.13?
And I'm gonna have Ms. Bretton just give a quick overview of this policy and what we ask in the board to take action. Okay?
Can everybody hear me? It's hard to talk with the plug in. So there's a brand new law that passed at the beginning of July, AB 130. We've had a number of parent meetings on this already to offer this to parents as an alternative enrollment option offered for this school year. Districts are required to offer the program, the independent study program. And we must pass, the board must pass or approve a new policy with the requirements of the new law before we can actually enroll students into that program and or collect ADA for students who have selected to enroll in the independent study program. And this is a difference from our traditional program. So it is intended to provide parents that option. It is very different from distance learning. It truly is an independent study program. But in order to move forward, we need the board to review policy. It is very likely we'll be bringing the policy back to you for further revision as more becomes available from the auditors, et cetera, in case we've missed something. But we have been working with other districts and legal advice to make sure that they're getting those updated.
I know I, for one, would be interested in, once we establish our independent studies and what shape it's gonna take to actually see what we're doing once we are in, shall I say, in progress. So, any questions or remarks about?
And just historically, so we haven't sent it study program pre-COVID.
So pre-COVID, so independent study has been around for, gosh, 30, 40 years probably. I know it's been a long time, around at least for 29, as long as I've been here. However, districts have not been required to offer long-term independent study. And we typically have offered it, and our policy currently is really about short-term independent study, in which case parents previously who were gone between 5 days to 15 days were able to, let's say they were going on a vacation, they could request independent study, or they had an emergency, they could request independent study and get an independent study contract before they left, do that work, and then get credit for their attendance and work when they came back. The new law requires all districts in California, with the exception of charter schools, to offer independent study, TK through grade 12, under certain requirements. And they changed the, it doesn't remove the short-term independent study, but now it's a 3-day minimum, not a 5-day minimum. So 3 days to 15 days is still considered short-term. And we've had that for at least 30 years. But the long-term is something that, in all honesty, most of us would not recommend as a, I don't want to say viable, but as a good model for instruction for most of our students. And so that is why most districts don't offer it. Some districts the last couple of years, in order to meet the needs of families who wish to do that through ADA, have the time to dedicate to being with their child, have started to offer it again. But it looked more like virtual learning. Now it's back to truly long-term independent study, where the student is working with their parent independently. That answer your question, Ms. Becker?
No, so it really, it seems like it's in response to COVID.
It is.
Our current situation.
It is, and it is only for this school year. So most of what we have for requirements right now under 8130 will expire in the same way that SB 198 did on June 30th, 2022.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Roger? Any public comment? Thank you. Then we need a motion to approve what this would be item 8.13 in the new order. Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. We have a second.
Second.
Mr. Grassi, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No, motion carries. All right, that takes us to item 9, information items only, not requiring any action. Are there any here that either a board member or the superintendent would like to address?
So, comment or question? So these are all, we're not taking action on any of these at this time, or we don't need to?
We don't need to, except for the one that we moved. 9.17.
Okay.
No questions on this item? Great. That's it. Yes.
Mr. On item, sorry, 8.7, there was a typo on the funding, instead of $11, it should say 11,000, I believe.
Thank you, sir.
No, I think you said 8.7, right?
It is 8.7, it said 11, but it was missing a zero.
Right, if there are no further questions on the information items, that moves us. Yes.
9.19.
Mhm.
Talking about land use.
Mhm.
Any other information on it besides what was here?
Did you want to answer that one?
I can answer a question. Mr. Ramirez, do you mind asking that question? I think Ms. Martinez.
I think Ms. Martinez is the one that brought it up as a subject we'd like to discuss.
Well, no, it's, basically, the mayor has, the mayor and the city council has, designed, all of the goals that they want to achieve for years 2045 and 2040, the master plan. And in that master plan, it talks about, the thing that relates to us, it talks about, basically in a nutshell, the mayor wants to change what was proposed in the master plan to kind of block schools from being able to just determine the use or the sale or the use of their own land. He wants to come in and be able to, not he, but the district, to come in and use those parcel land. Or use the land as he determined, or the city council determined. And so we would lose sovereignty over decision making over any land or any space. So the Dr. Duane from the county office wrote a very strong letter, good letter, asking the mayor to stop and desist from any further action on that. And it was signed by, I don't know if all of the superintendents, but the majority of superintendents in the county. And so basically that's where it's at right now. The city council will be needing to make decisions on that proposal sometime late August or September. And in addition to that, tomorrow night, there's going to be a meeting on this topic, and it's an online meeting. Zoom, I shouldn't think of Zoom. It's a Zoom meeting, but I don't know if there was a way that we could show. I guess I could just send it to the board members who are interested. So if you are interested in topic, Brenda or Justice. I don't know how you react to that, but those properties are our properties. We have the right to consider how they're going to get used. That's kind of a nutshell. You almost have to be a lawyer to be able to do all of that.
Just like there's some thinking right now. County land, the city wants to take it over and sell it.
Oh, yeah, that whole Google thing is like Pac-Man, something everything that's passed.
I understand some of their concerns, but it's like everything else, like the town that, the people that moved in there, there was an airport there. And I know they've been talking about for the last 3 or 4 years, it had nothing to do with the lead, gas, and airplanes.
Or the
It just-
rebuilding.
It was just about,
Yeah, I looked up the
closing
distance.
the airport.
I looked up the distance from our district office building to the regional airport is 1.6 miles. So we're within that local environmental hazard.
Well, the thing that comes down to that is they want to build affordable housing on that land. They're going to do that land, that's important to all that.
And the airport was very vital during the fire.
That's right.
helicopter going on.
for emergencies, and also San Jose State and Evergreen Community College use it as a training ground for, aviation. It can be a training ground for jobs in terms of drones. But
I think that,
But futuristically also, they can use non-lead fuel. And the way aviation is going, the way cars are going, soon there will be electric planes. So we're looking at solving 21st century issues with 20th century thinking in terms of what the city. What's best for our community in the long term.
I think in essence,
the noise is incredible.
in essence, 9.19 is denouncing the mayor did not consult with the board members of the Mount Pleasant School District as well as the community.
Before determining what they wanted to do. All right, let's move on to item 10, which is future agenda items. Do we have any items we need to add to this, or are we assigning any dates to any of these government purposes?
Not yet.
Any other items, board members? So that takes us to item 11. Board of Trustees Superintendent Communications and Comments. Dr. MacArthur, you're up first. If you have some comments that you'd
Yes,
like
I just want to say thank you to all of the Mount Pleasant staff, especially everyone that worked during the summer. It has been nonstop, especially with all of the last minute changes with the new guidance, the independent study. Very appreciative of all the support that we have received from all of our staff, classified as well as certificated. It's been nonstop. We need a break before we start. But Kevin, thank you for all the work that you have done with the facilities. They look great. And thank you for everyone that has been working in getting our protective equipment for our staff, hand sanitizing, masks, all of that to the school sites. We are ready to receive the students, and we will continue to work with our staff and our community to ensure that we provide a safe learning environment for our students and our staff. So thank you everyone for the support.
Thank you. Let me start on that end, if I may. Any comments? Ms. Butler? Ms. Martinez, do you have any comments you want to share?
I just want to say thank you for all of the hard work. For the dedication. The last year, it's been pretty tough during this pandemic. And then it will continue on to next year. So thank you in anticipation. And also thank you for adding the resolution to the
Just to reiterate the thanks that the heroes and Mount Pleasant have done, teachers, classified staff, administration, for getting things ready for the school year. Great effort, great teamwork. And also thanks to all those that for the Mount Pleasant Neighborhood Association led that effort for backpacks for kids and other vital information. A lot of staff was there, so we appreciate it was a good showing and great event. Good for our kids.
Just thank you to everybody. Long summer. Hopefully, the vaccine for our kids, total learners. So they don't have to walk around like this the rest of their lives. And we can have a good year. Hopefully, nobody gets sick. Thank you to everybody.
I wanted to thank the MPNA for putting that National Night Out event at Rover Sanders. That was a lot of fun. I couldn't believe how many people we had, and the fact that unfortunately we had to turn people away because the line was so long. And it was a lot of fun. We had so many volunteers to come and give up their time to do this. It was great. The time just flew. We're here, we just started and it's done. So that was great. I look forward to time when it's no longer just a drive-through, and we can actually mingle with people, and get to talk to people a little bit more. Also, just wanted to say that the board felt that if we're asking our students and our teachers and our administrators to come back, that we wanted the board to start meeting in person again. We are dealing with technology challenges, so this is going to be a learning curve of what can our district do to make everybody feel included and make sure everybody has a comment that they want to get off their chest that they can. But please give us a little bit of time to get there, because we're benchmarking with other districts that perhaps are much larger than we are to make sure that we have a happy medium between what we can do and what our technology allows us to do until we get it right. So please be a little patient with us on that. And definitely, this community and the schools is never asleep. It's always working, because I'm always driving around the schools to see what's going on and see who's there, what's happening. So never idle. Our classifieds, our teachers, our administrators, they're always working behind the scenes, even if we don't see them. Particularly getting everything ready, since all of us are so nervous about what this is going to look like when we start. San Jose State starts next week, and we're just as nervous as everybody else. That's for sure. Thank you. I just have to ask before we adjourn, because I know we have somebody walking in. Do we have any more comments? Maybe anything that came in late? Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right. So item 12, closed session will require for non-routine items. We do not need to return to closed session. That takes us to item 13, which is our adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
We'll move.
Thank you. And do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Martinez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And the motion carries. That takes us to item 14, which is our next meeting. The next regularly scheduled board meeting will be held on Wednesday, September 8th, 2021 at 5 p.m. Everything working out, it will be here again in person unless things happen that have to change that. So we look forward to that next meeting. Thank you.